Hey, welcome back. I'm here. I'm Janet with Pearl Together, and I'm here with Lindsay and Jill. Wave. That's Lindsay. This is Jill from my podcast partners from Illinois. So if you're new to the channel, they're just random knitters that I found. No, they were early members of our group and super fun. And we just hit it off and we decided we'd podcast together once a month or so. And then we actually did meet in person once when we had a retreat, and that was super cool. Pre-COVID. That was lots of fun. So welcome to the PurlCast number, whatever this is, 30 something, 37, 38. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Yay. So I know what's big in the news right now is everybody's freezing. It's super duper cold everywhere.
Cold.
Yep. Super cold in Illinois. Super cold.
Not cold though. Jill in that fade.
I am not cold.
She's
and my slippers.
In your felted clogs slippers.
And my felted clogs that actually kind of match. Aww.
And you got your foot up there. I'm happy. You're limber. Awesome.
I have to tell a really quick felted clogs story because everybody knows how much we love the felted clogs. I heard my daughter on the phone. That's when we were growing up. They were on the phone. Really, she was on her iPad and they were like talking through Messenger or whatever.
Yeah.
And her friend says something about, oh, don't you always steal your mom's slippers? I just took my mom's slippers. She wants them back. Don't you steal your mom's? And my daughter says, no, I've never stolen my mom's slippers. Mine are custom made. I've never had anything but hand knit slippers that fit my feet.
And you're like, oh.
It wasn't snotty. I mean, she didn't say it in a snotty way at all. But it was so neat to overhear something like that because you think, oh, does it really matter or whatever? And she's like, my mom's made all my slippers. It's like, aw. Well, and actually, I didn't. Actually, I've made none of her slippers.
You haven't made a single pair.
I've not made a single pair. Lindsay has made every pair of felted clogs for my daughter.
Oh, that's awesome, though. That's super cool.
Actually, Lindsay made the ones I'm wearing right now.
Yay.
Jill made the ones I'm wearing.
Oh, I made the ones I'm not wearing. I mean, they're in the other room. I should have gotten them, but I got out of the shower and I came here and sat at my desk and I needed to go find them and I didn't. So I have on handmade socks, however. Actually, the socks I'm wearing right now are the ones from the Customizable Toe Up Sock video.
Oh, those are those cute ones.
Yes. We'll put all the links to everything we talk about down below. So, and the same yarn of the ones I just showed you, I'm knitting. Yeah, same yarn, different stripes. This one's cuffed down, too. So, but these are for a friend, actually. So, I'm on number 2.
You're close.
Yeah, I like those blues.
I hope to get these done this weekend. I want to get them in the mail after, Tuesday, after the holiday weekend. So that, because we're starting our sock class on Monday, I want to get these done before, Yay. Yeah, so we're starting a sock class online. The 2 classes I have coming up are full, but I'm going to be doing more. So watch my social media for that if you're interested in a live sock class. Now, I have lots of free video tutorials on the channel for cuff down and toe up and 2 at a time toe up and whatever. However, this is a Zoom class that will be about an hour and a half once a week for 6 weeks, and we're going to knit the sock together. So lots of hand holding, and you get your questions answered right away. And
cool.
And Jill's come. Yay! I'm excited.
We get to visit too. I think that's
that's the biggest part is people want to knit with people like live, and do something together. Right.
I have my yarn picked out.
Ooh, I want to see what you're going to do.
It's very bright. I tend to go toward pink. It actually is going to look like bubble gum, I think. And that was not intentional, but so.
Oh, I love that.
So yes, it came apart, Lindsay, when I was doing it. And
because your winder needs replaced.
And so what I actually decided to do, one ball I knew would do a leg, and it's the right size to stick inside my purse for when I travel. So yeah, these 2 colors. I'm actually going to do a white cuff with pink leg. Yeah. And so it'll be cuff, heel, and toe.
Are you doing a leg? Not a
I'm going to do a leg, I think.
What do you mean a leg?
So, you know what? You can define what a leg is because you know.
Like she's going to knit more than just a couple inches.
So it's actually a sock leg and not just an ankle sock.
It's a leg.
But still, an ankle sock isn't like what I would call an ankle sock. To Jill, I feel like Jill would knit a little bit of a leg in an ankle sock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we're
like doing exactly.
Yeah, like 15 rows.
So that's like a quarter crew. Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas but you knit an actual crew sock this time.
Now, in my head, and this doesn't ever come out in reality, and I'm sure Lindsay would have. In my head,
wait, can I say what you're about to say? I feel like in your head you think a crew sock's going to go up to your knee.
No, that's a knee high.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. You're going to laugh at this. So, you know how you see those pictures of the people and they wear their leggings and then they have those like work boots that are like more like fashion boots, work boots. See? And then that cuff sticks up. So it'll be all like cute. But see, Lindsay's going like that because I'm never going to buy those shoes. And if I did, I think I'd look ridiculous in them, which I would. But the socks will still make me happy.
You're never, ever going to buy.
But doesn't it look cute when people do that?
So and you would look cute.
Yeah.
But you're never going to do it.
No.
But that's okay. So let's get back to the socks. So you're going to have a white cuff, a pink leg, white heel, pink foot, white toe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Of course.
I also thought that would look really cute striped too.
It would look good striped. And my farmer brain is thinking I would never knit anything white because that would look dirty in a hurry in my house. Just saying.
I know. I saw a picture. I liked the way it looked. So that's what my sock is going to look like.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I'm not knitting socks.
The Sunday socks. They'll be the Sunday socks.
Yay.
And if you have not watched another podcast, the first pair of socks I knit, I loved them so much. I literally wore them out really rather quickly. They also weren't knit on a tight enough gauge.
Yeah.
So the next pair of socks was a little bit tighter. And I declared them my Saturday socks, so I don't wear them out. So I wear them on Saturdays.
Week.
So these will be my Sunday socks.
Yes. And soon you'll have enough socks for each day of the week.
I know. And then my feet won't ever be cold.
And we talked about this all last time. So yes.
Yay.
Awesome. So that's fun. And the one, so speaking of gauge, the socks I'm knitting right now that we're talking about, I measured my gauge, 9.5 stitches per inch. That's why they last.
Wow, that's a lot of stitches in an inch.
Mine were 7.5. That's why I still need to go down yet another needle size.
What size needles are you knitting them on, Jana?
Me? These are 2.25 millimeter. Or
what is that in US?
US 1.
Okay.
US 1, 2.25 millimeter. I try to speak in millimeters because
I know, and I just don't speak anything because I'm not.
Because you're, yeah. But I have lots of international knitters, and so millimeters are kind of the standard. So anyway, you get the idea.
Yes. So
that's cool. So I'm trying to finish these up. And I want to talk about the fade you're wearing, because you were working on that during our last podcast. But look, it's done.
It's done. I'm so happy. It is so toasty warm.
Show us.
It is. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's huge, and I like how you hide it.
I love the pink.
Wow.
It's huge. I did not block it aggressively. And in actuality, I didn't even pin it. So the lace is really opened up in the middle and it's not as opened up on the ends. But if I wanted to block it again, I could do it. But it was 9.5 feet.
Yeah.
9.5 feet.
Wow.
So
mine's ginormous like that as well. And by the way, Jill sent me a link that shows how she tied that all up and made it look so cool. And so I will put that in the bottom too, because like I have issues with how to twist things up and
I am
did that.
obsessed with how you tied that. It makes me, seeing how you tied that makes me want to finish mine, because I've been thinking, like, what am I going to do with this when it's done?
And how am I going to wear it?
I struggled because I put it with the triangle in the front, and then I wrapped it twice, and then I tried it with like the shawl, and it
And then
flipped
it's
over.
like this much all up in your neck, and it's massive.
Yeah, and I just didn't like it, so I gave it a goog.
Google, YouTube.
Yeah. Like Lindsay, give it a goog. Gave it a goog. How do you wear your fade? Yep.
Love it.
That one.
And she said, and I found one that said, wear your fade like a poncho. I'm like, oh, I can do that. And it doesn't slip. That's the other thing that I really, really like. It's arms. It's not slipping off my shoulders, and it's snug. So.
It's warm.
Now, do you want to wear it to work?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I like it a lot. I'm really, really happy with it. Now, of course, I just want to knit shawls because I just finished one. So,
but the thing is, when you wear it like that, I feel like you can't get your arm in your coat. So you're going to have to like put it on after you get to work.
Or just don't wear a coat.
Okay, it's negative what?
I didn't wear a coat today. Here's what, listen, it's fine. A, I didn't take my kid to daycare, and B, this is how much time I spent outside. Here's my house. Here's my car. Drove to work. The car was already heated. Drove to work. Here's my car. Here's the door.
Okay, but let me just say, where I live, being that I'm 25 miles from town, I contingency plan. For example.
Yes, if I were driving further than 3 blocks to my office, I would have worn a coat.
Yeah, because if I get a flat tire,
right,
and I have to deal with that in negative God knows what,
right,
that's hypothermic situation.
Right, I was driving 3 blocks.
If it's only 3 blocks, why don't you walk?
Because it's negative 20.
Then you could wear a coat and boots and walk.
No, there's too much snow on the ground. I am a fair weather walker. It has to be like 72. And even then, I can't walk because I'm not going to leave on time. And if I was taking my kid to daycare's across town.
Okay. That's hilarious. And you don't wear socks and proper footwear. We learned that last time. I mean, for walking. For the purpose of walking, I'm saying.
No, that's fine. I didn't wear socks today. I wore moccasins.
Oh, burr.
No, it's fine.
Oh, my feet get cold with you saying that. I know.
I wore moccasins. They're fur lined.
Oh, those ones. Yes. Now I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah, the gray. Yeah, no, I was fine.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, last time we talked about how your feet don't sweat. We talked about that last time.
I have my work shoes that are sitting under my desk. I wear my moccasins. I get to work, slip off the mocks, put on the flats. We're good to go.
I have a finished object.
Yay! Show us that.
Look.
Oh, look, it's so pretty.
Isn't
and
that?
We love gray.
I do. We love gray. This is mine. Yes, this is. It's a Cascade Aran Weight 100% Merino Superwash, and I was so proud of myself because I Kitchenered it.
Yay!
The pattern just calls for you to seam it, and I Kitchenered it. And the great part is I struggle sometimes to find where I did it. Isn't that awesome?
That's awesome. What's the name of the pattern, Jill?
It is the braided cable headband, I believe.
Okay. I feel like we've talked about this before, but I wanted to make sure.
Yes, we have. When you guys are chatting, I will double check and make sure that it's the braided cable. But it was really nice.
Well done. That's awesome. And you Kitchenered. That's so cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right there's the Kitchener.
Yep.
Look at you.
That's really good.
So I had to learn a provisional cast on.
Yep.
Love this one. Yep. So
cool.
I liked it very, very much. So I did that. And if anybody knows me. So I've spent a lot of time in car lines, in school car drop off and pickup lines lately, and dance pickup lines, and doctor's office type
Fine.
thing.
Sure.
Yeah. And I needed kitchen dishcloths. So these 6 are for my kitchen. And then my husband's birthday is coming up, and he wanted ones for the bar downstairs.
Nice. And so this is the grandma's favorite pattern?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And I want to say that pattern is really good. Like if you're trying to switch up the way you knit. So like, let's say you knit English style and you want to learn to knit continental, like you can't screw up a dishcloth, just go for it. But that's good for practicing. Like if you're going to change, or like, let's say you want to learn Portuguese knitting and you're changing up something, do that. You know what I mean? Because then you'll have something productive. And
Bill, what have you been doing with your dishcloths? You've been using them to practice a new skill.
Oh, yeah. Well, and yes, I am learning how to knit without looking.
Like I'm doing right now. Can you tell
Which
him?
I would be,
It's
well,
good.
I would be doing it, but when we started chatting prior to this, I was knitting, and now I have a gazillion stitches on. So I need to go backwards a little bit or without.
See,
I can't
you
flip
can
out
knit
without.
without looking, like I'm doing right now. I'm knitting without looking. You can knit in a Zoom meeting, and who would know? Because
Close
I'm
the door to
not.
your office.
Huh? What
Close
now?
the door to your office, hop on a Zoom. No one will know.
No one will know. Yeah, it's kind of like people that have something else in their coffee cup.
Well, I tell you what, it is so much, and I know this sounds weird. It's so much easier for me to pay attention if my hands are busy.
Yes,
So
it's not weird. It's totally true. I'm the same way.
if
Yeah.
it's not something where I have to take notes, like I don't have to take notes, but I really need to pay attention. I have to have something.
Yes.
So my mind can go there.
Well, it's the same with people that doodle or bounce their knee or something. I mean, at least when you're knitting, it's productive. Bouncing your knee is not super productive. So
I say as I'm sitting here kicking my leg back and forth.
yeah. So, did you make that bag?
Yes.
I want to see the bag.
We were in a phase of that bag for a while.
Nice.
We made
This
a
was. Mm-hmm.
That's like the purple one you sent me, which I think is in my other bag because I was in town today.
I just like it because
Yes.
Yep.
Love it.
So my daughter's birthday is also this month. So
Love.
Yep.
Love it. Stripes. Griffin.
Stripes. If you're a Harry Potter fan,
Is that
that color scheme would look familiar.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And then mitts, but they're not.
Mitts.
Turned out cute.
So you're working on, I know you're crocheting, but show us anyway. You're working on.
Just finished a ball of yarn, so I'm going to have to go get another one from upstairs.
But you're knitting a temperature blanket, right?
Yeah, I'm crocheting a temperature blanket. I know I should be knitting.
No,
but
I know you told me crochet, and it's fine. But I said knitting when I
know.
Yeah.
I found a crochet pattern that I liked better, and so that's what I ended up going with. And I am working on January 17th. Clearly, there's not been much temperature variation in January. I have, let me count, 12 colors.
Okay.
With 7 degrees of variation in between them, ranging from 94 degrees to -1 degrees, because we live in a very variable climate.
So if it gets below -1, it's just going to be the cold color, regardless.
Yeah.
Like,
and there was one day that was -4, so it's just that gray. And I figure the same thing with if it goes above 94.
Yeah, it'll be the hot color, the hottest color. Sure. Right. So we have a couple. Are you? What's that? Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh, look at that.
Nice. And that's what yarn you're using?
I am using mainly Cascade Pacific.
Okay.
With a little bit of a couple different like odds and ends that I had of things that I knew I wouldn't use much of, like the gray. Gosh, I don't even have a label for this one. It's just something that was in my stash. This is my 6 degrees to -1 degrees.
Right.
Yeah. So, and a couple others that I'm not sure. They might be a Hobby Lobby. Like Hobby Lobby, I love this yarn, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Right on. So you were saying though that you kind of want to get back to your fade now that you've seen Jill's.
I know, now that I've seen how beautiful Jill's looks on her, I kind of want to pull mine out.
Yeah.
But I'm also probably not going to right away.
Well, you need to catch up on your days there, on your temperature thing.
I want to be at least in the same month that I'm.
Right.
So I don't believe that I would ever be a do the row on the day every day of the year person.
But maybe a week at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm much more likely to like catch up on the weekend for a whole week.
Sure.
Nice.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm hopeful that I will stay disciplined for 365 days of 2021.
I wouldn't. I can't even keep up with Fibrary on Instagram. I did like the first 5 or 6 days and then I like forgot and something happened and I'm like, oh, well, shoot. Now I'm like, I don't know, 5, 6 days behind. I'm like, okay, that didn't work.
That's funny.
It just, I had good intentions and I think people that can like pre-schedule their posts, like I could have done that, gone through the whole thing and like pre-scheduled it all. I don't know. I have to think about the prompts and then I have to mull it over and it's hard. It's just too hard. Okay, let's talk about a couple of the ones I remember though. So the one that would be good to talk about is this year I will ...
So you're leaving that open for us to answer?
Yes.
This year, I will knit a colorwork sweater.
Yay! Lindsay,
Wow. I'm shocked.
why?
I just am.
I'm not. Jill's totally like leveled up. She can do anything she wants.
I'm not saying that she is not capable.
Are you shocked that she would undertake that?
No, it's the time factor.
Oh. But you knit.
Well, not a massive, I'm not like the Jennifer, is it Steinglass or
something.
Hunter? I'm not there yet. More the Isabella Kramer.
You're totally there. And the thing is this, the number of yards is not any different than what you just finished. That fade was 1,600 something yards. So obviously depending on the weight of yarn you're using for your sweater, right? I mean, and you've knitted the Campside.
We'll see.
Just one stitch at a time.
Yes.
That's all. It is. And it's all, charted. One stitch.
So you guys finished the I will. This year I will.
Okay. Go ahead.
And it doesn't have to be knitting related. Or does it have to be knitting related?
Both.
I feel like it's supposed to be knitting fiber related.
Well, it could be both. It could be both. Knitting related and not. Okay, I'll go while you think about it.
Yeah.
I will knit a color sweater, and mine is going to be this will come later on the channel. And we can, yes. Well, maybe on the channel. I may do a tutorial that's not on the channel, that's on my website. More about that later. But it's going to be a traditional bottom up traditional Shetland yoke sweater with the Fair Isle, traditional Fair Isle colorwork stranding. So, yeah, so that's one thing. Not knitting related is I have at least 3 backpacking trips planned in the planning phases.
Wow.
So that's going to be fun because I feel like backpacking is a pretty safe COVID safe thing to do. It's pretty easy to keep your distance from people on the trail, even if you're like hiking not with your family member. I mean, it's pretty easy to stay 6 feet apart while you're hiking or while you're at camp or, sitting on the ground eating. It's pretty easy to keep your distance. So, yeah, I feel like that's pretty not risky thing to be doing, right? So I have several, and a couple of those are longer distance, like one's a 60-mile loop and one is a 124-mile trip and one is a 100 miles.
Wow.
So those are the 3 I have in mind at the moment. So.
Wow.
So I'm treadmill training right now with the incline thing because I do not want to die going up the. I'm going to try not to die on some of those mountains. Yeah. So I'm treadmill right now. Because it's negative whatever outside. And, it's cold enough where you breathe in and your eyelashes are frozen and your nose hairs stick together.
Oh, I know, and your nose starts to tingle.
Yeah, my eyelashes were stuck together last night. It was awful.
I think my teenager is tired of hearing me say, you have to wear gloves. You need to wear a coat if you're outside for X amount of minutes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So.
Wool mittens. I had that on my Instagram this week. Wool felted mittens inside a leather covering, because you don't get hay all stuck in the wool mittens, right? But yeah, much warmer than gloves. Yeah. And I just leave my glasses in the house because there's no sense. It fogs right up over my knitted face thing. And my glasses fog right up. I just leave them in the house.
My husband is working outside and I bought him some anti-fog glasses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
He said it work well.
Yeah.
What are your favorite kind of mittens to knit for warmth then?
The felted mittens. I'll put the link to the pattern down below, but it's I think by the same author as the felted clogs. I think it's the same gal.
Uh-huh.
The same designer. And they're felted mittens, so they're very dense and warm like your clogs are. But then I wear the leather. You can buy a leather shell on Amazon. Just buy separately a leather shell, and I'll put the link to that too. But I wear that over it because that way you don't get hay or it doesn't get dirty. You don't get stuff stuck to the wool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in a lot of hay, so I don't know that I would need.
You might not need that, but I put them inside there.
But yeah, that sounds super warm. And
it does. I never really thought about felted mittens.
Yes, felted mittens are awesome.
I may have to.
And they don't take that long. They don't take that long to make, and they're super duper warm. I mean, you could bust one out, a pair in.
I may have to think about that for him under his.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Clothes.
I mean, obviously you have to take it off real quick if you have to do a gate latch or something.
Oh, right.
Dexterity, but if you're just, if you're just running a snow blower, for example, or driving, you don't have to have a super.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to have a lot of dexterity for that. So
I like all of the if you're going a snowblower or driving, you have all of the.
It's my favorite when people to imitate driving go like this, as if that's how you go down the road.
As if that's how you drive.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway, so yeah, those are the best ones, the felted so far that I've found. I mean, they keep me warm even when, I was out doing chores and it's like last night we went out about 9 o'clock and we put out more hay for all the goats and we took out warm water because we're having trouble keeping water thawed, obviously. Even with the heated buckets, they're still freezing or, freezing on the top. And so we have trouble with that and -10 and my hands were still warm. So, because you want your fingers all to be together. Gloves are dumb because your fingers gloves are.
And I knit mittens for my mom for Christmas, and they're fine. They're good. They're okay. They're not super warm. I'm just sitting here thinking, what kind of knit would be good for now? Yeah,
because they're dense. Yeah, that back to the denser fabric for sure.
That would be nice.
Nice, Lindsay. Did you think about this year? I will.
No, I don't know what I can't commit to something. This year I will be non-committal because when I commit to things and don't follow through, I get disappointed in myself and it sets myself up for anxiety attacks.
Okay,
So this
let's
year,
rephrase that. This year, I hope to.
that's just as bad.
Oh, really?
Yes, because
Okay.
people are going to view it and then I feel like people are going to ask me about it. And whether or not you ask me about it, I'm still going to think you're going to ask me about it and I'm still going to be anxious about it.
Even if we say this year, I'm thinking about.
Not committing to
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This
What was?
year I will be committed to my mental health.
There you go. Yep, that's fine. And setting boundaries is always good. So another one of the February things was like most loved project, and I would say I answered on Instagram and said the felted clogs for sure because I've knit them over and over. I've knitted like 34 pairs. I've knitted them over and over and over for myself and for friends and for family, and so I mean, yeah, and most loved meaning I just do them over and over again because everyone loves them.
And they're just the perfect gift.
Oh.
And they're definitely my most worn. Well, can I go get my most loved knit?
Sure. You're back with your hat.
My
Let's
most loved knit. Another one that I did not make, that Jill made me.
That's so cute.
I don't remember if this was a birthday something. I think I sent Jill like a dissertation via voice memo one day about why I love this hat so much.
And is it worsted weight?
Is it worsted?
It is. It's worsted.
I have none of the details other than it's the perfect amount of slouch.
I feel like we've talked about this pattern before, but I can't remember it.
I've knit it several times. I made matching hats for Lindsay and my daughter.
And what was the name of the pattern? Do you remember?
I think it's called the neon striped hat. It's
Yeah.
by Plymouth.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's just one of those generic ones that yarn companies put out that I absolutely love.
It's cute.
I love.
Yeah.
It has a great decrease.
Yep.
I can go on and on about all the things I love about this hat.
I kind of feel that way about the Sockhead hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one. I mean, I won't go get it. It is in the other room, but the Sockhead hat, that's a fantastic knit. Kind of slouchy. You can wear it different ways, like slouchy like that, or you could pull it down if you were cold. You could like pull it down, and then the Sockhead has a 4-inch ribbing section, so you could pull it down and then turn it up. And I did that the other day because you pull it down tight and then turn it up so you have the double thickness on your ears. Or you could wear it, kind of slouchy like that. Yeah, that's one of my best ones too. Yeah,
I have a lot of knitted hats, and 9 times out of 10, I grab this one.
You look for that one.
Mm-hmm. And if I can't find this one, it's probably in my car because I wore it into my car and then didn't want to wear it into work and leave it in my office.
Right.
It is my most loved knit hat and most loved knit. It is the thing I wear. This and my slippers I wear the most. Both made by Jill.
Nice.
Third most loved knit is my purple Gaptastic cowl, also knit by Jill.
By Jill.
I think I've worn it with my coat every day this week.
There's a theme here.
And everyone at my office loves it because everyone in my office loves purple. And because it's like our little office color. And so I've gotten many a compliment on my purple Gaptastic
cowl. There's a theme here. All the things that Jill makes for you.
They're just knit with so much love.
I know. I love that. I will say, yeah, there's a couple beanies that I have. They're definitely on the most loved. The felted clogs and then socks. Duh, of course. Yeah. Socks. All the time. I always have a sock going, whether it's for me or a kid or someone else. There's always a sock in the car or in my bag. It's in my bag. I don't leave it in the car. It's in my bag. Yeah. And I have a little panic moment if I'm leaving to go to
Oh
town
my gosh, yes.
and I don't have the bag with the sock in my handbag. I'm like, oh, what if the interstate is hung up? What if there's an accident and you have to wait? I mean, what if you have to wait?
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. I just would pull out my phone. If I didn't have I'd find.
Yeah, I'd rather knit than be on my phone though.
Well, I mean, like listening to something. I don't know.
I just have a little anxiety if I don't have it with me. If I don't have some knitting with me, I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? Don't you have a little panic moment if you notice that? No? Yeah.
We are headed somewhere this weekend, and I will be knitting. It will be dark, and so I was trying to think. That was another thing of, well, should I cast on early?
You could swatch.
So,
And yeah, you could swatch. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
okay. So yeah.
But don't you have a little panic moment? Whenever you're planning to go somewhere, you're like, wait, what knitting am I going to take? That's like, I care more about that than what clothes am I going to pack?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And I bet there's a lot of people that watch the podcast that do that like the things that you take to knit with you are just
way more important than what am I going to wear. Way more important. Like, I don't
always bring way more than I get done.
Oh yeah.
Back when
security thing. What if you get tired of knitting what you're on, or you can't see and you got to knit something else that you don't have to think about as hard? Yeah, absolutely. I agonize over what knitting will I bring. I could care less about the clothing. I mean, obviously.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of some of the other prompts, but I kind of failed on the February challenge, so I didn't get very far. I could do
I
it.
think you did better than some. I thought about starting it.
so
As far as I got.
I propose that the next time we podcast, I could come with the list and I will ask you both the questions during the podcast. Then we can learn a little bit more about each of you.
We could do that for March. We'll have a March list.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
And
then you have to be prepared to answer the questions too, though, Jill. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Something to look forward to next time then.
Yay.
Well, thanks. Thanks for joining me this time again. We'll do it again. Sooner this time. Maybe not so much so many weeks between.
I think it'll be warmer.
I hope so. Well, you guys have a good weekend.
Yes.
And get lots done with your knitting projects.
Yay.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.